Well, hey there, it's Alka.
And Jen, hello.
Thanks for your patience. We were having some internet issues, so we just tried another network. We always have another solution. So we're here for a mini design bootcamp. This is a free mini design bootcamp. We are showing you the inside of what it would be like if you were in either the Z Supercharger or the Elements of Design bootcamp. And this is one of the things that people love the most about our training is that we show them how to fix their designs. And when they fix the designs, when we do that, there's a lot of times where they sell or they pick up in the sales or anything. And so we're doing all of these just to give you a really good idea of what it would be like to work with us. And we hope that you can take advantage of today's session. We are going for an hour. That would mean we go to 4:07 the Eastern Standard Time, so an hour from now. We're a little bit delayed with the internet, so this is a benefit for you. You get your full hour. What you want to do is post your link in the chat and give us some information about it. So like how many sales or how many views, when was it made, so that we can start to help you with the designing process, or maybe like even get a clue as to what maybe is the issue with your product. And then we're just going to go for an hour and see how many people we can get through. We're doing these almost like once a week. I'm not sure if we're going to continue doing them, but we're doing them right now just to give you a good sense of who we are, what we can do for you, and we hope that you will be in a position to say yes to our Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. We have this current one that we've been doing since January, ending up and wrapping up next week. The week after, there's a 5-day challenge, so that's just after Easter. And then the next week after that, we start another bootcamp. So April 19th, we start again. So if you wanted to enroll now, you can be the first ones in and secure your spot, so that and spots are limited. So you've got to get in if you want to get in. The sooner you get in, the better. And today, because we're doing, every time we do one of these design mini boot camps, we're also doing a flash sale. So that means that today we're going to give you $1,000 off of the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp if you enroll today before this. What do we should do as a deadline? Midnight tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Eastern Standard Time.
The link is in the description of this video.
And you need to use a promo code. So should we say it already at the beginning or not at the end?
Sure, we can do the promo
Okay,
code.
so the promo is promo. The code is all caps promo 1000. Okay, so that's really important so that you get $1,000 off. It's regularly $3,497. And today you can get it for $2,497. Huge discount, right? So make sure you lock that in. And anyone who's already in the Profit by Design Academy and wants to do another boot camp, even if you're in this current boot camp and you want to do another boot camp, we have a special for you too. Okay, but you have to message us, and we'll give you a price. Okay, we don't want to get too many things on the. This is the links we've got here are for the new people, and they want to save $1,000. You can save a lot of money if you want to do another redo of the boot camp.
I'm going to just try and switch our internet back because we seem to be able to be connecting to the good internet.
Let's give it a shot. If we lose you, just catch up with us again. Oh no, I couldn't. Then just leave it.
Okay. All right. We'll just leave it. Okay. So put your links in the chat because we are still waiting for all of that, and we can't wait to start designing with you.
Bad, huh?
That's why I said.
Okay. Well, how come we couldn't connect?
It's interesting because on my phone I can connect. I'm connected to the Clark network. So
can we connect to your phone and then your phone is on the Clark network?
We could. I could do that right now.
Let's try it.
I'm putting on my hotspot. There we go.
Let's try
This is funny. Now we're back at the same link. So
oh my. I hope it really works now and we stay on. Thank you so much for your patience.
Okay, let's see if this ends up working. Let us know if we're back. And then if not, then we will. But we wanted to make sure that we can actually see the proper. What just happened there? Okay. Let us know if we're back.
I guess I could check on mine too.
Okay, we're back. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for waiting for us and being patient. We're going to just open up the Facebook group now so that I can open up the video and we can get your links. Then we are able to get started. So thank you for being patient with us. And we can get started. Awesome. I will open up the links and hopefully the internet is... Oh, goodness. Well, we're going to try and do our best right now, but the internet connection isn't really the greatest and we're a little bit fuzzy. So let us know how the quality is and stuff, but we will get started right away. So this is CC's. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So in terms of back, but a little bit choppy back, but okay. Well, either way, we will work on it. Looks a bit better here in the preview, hopefully. And now we can see everybody's beautiful designs. Okay. All right. Well, in terms of your design, we're going to critique it right now. I don't know if this is a glitch or if this is actually true, but you don't actually have an opportunity for anybody to customize your product here. You've got you don't have a template for your F here. So if you wanted to have that be able to be purchased by anybody, or if they want to customize it, you have to make sure that you have the templates proper. And then also I would always suggest to have on the front design, or the front and the back should be the same design. So I would just copy and paste your beautiful wreath and then have the monogram on the back as well. And then I don't know if it's part of we can go in and we can edit the design further, but it looks a little bit
different color on the background and also shifted. Yeah, the F.
Yeah, the F just does maybe because of the script on your text bounding boxes. Maybe this is me coming in, but they're very big. So that means that if somebody decided to edit the text and it came like it would go off. You want to make sure that your text bounding boxes are kind of always within the space that you want the person to be able to add their design to. And because of the script, the F is really far off to the right hand side and it's almost touching the wreath. So I would, if you wanted to keep it with a type of sort of script font, then I would do that, but I would choose a different type just because oh, I don't like that one. Neither do I like that one. That's sort of what you had, but a smaller version of it. Just play around with it. What we can do. I like that one actually.
And I would actually make the bounding boxes within the wreath.
Yeah.
So not just at the side. So yeah.
Within here, so that they know that they can only choose or create inside the bounding, or sorry, inside the wreath here. Goodness, I can't speak. Like that.
And then I would definitely make sure that the like the background is okay, but it doesn't do anything for the design. It doesn't accentuate the design at all. And now once we take that layer off, we realize that the pink is not the same pink as the flowers. So you have to do the dropper and like use the dropper and find a nice coordinating color that fits with the flower color so that it all makes sense. So that's already like a huge improvement. I would also say F. I know you're trying to be better and not use M, but don't use a letter that's use one that's like R or W or something that, yeah, just something that's holds the space better,
Mm-hmm.
so that people can see it a lot easier in terms of their other initial, because it may not end up being an F that they use either. And because of that, those fonts that Jen used, they just didn't seem to showcase the letter spacing properly, whereas the R just makes total sense.
And I made your wreath a little bit smaller because you had it like this was as big as it was before. And if you can see in the preview, it's just very large and it's sort of off to the sides.
Plus, remember, people poof their pillows,
Yeah.
so then you wouldn't see it at all. But if she makes it smaller, it allows the whole thing to be more visually appealing, and people will see the whole design, not just a little bit of the wreath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then do the back as well.
Yeah, and then make sure, as I said, I don't know if you have this selected or not, but if you're creating a template, you need to make sure that when you scroll down here on the menu, I don't have it personally because it's not my design, but you need to create this layer as a template so that people can change their letter and they have the opportunity to personalize it.
How does it look on Facebook?
Let's see. Good. I think
we're better. Okay. And everyone's saying we're all good. Let us know how the sound is and how the visual is. And we apologize for the quality.
Mm-hmm. Let's just see if we make sure we use Yeti mic here.
Okay. All right. So next.
Yep. Okay. All right. Just closing all my windows. Next one here. Then we've got Anne.
And anyone who's new to us and who's just started in our Facebook group, welcome. And we are Zazzle designers who have been on Zazzle since 2007, pretty much. And we have made over $1.5 million combined as earnings. And that means we've sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products. And so we have built up a really nice community over the last 3 years, where we are, first of all, course creators. So we've created a course, multiple courses, but ultimately now this Profit by Design Academy that we talked about as our signature course. That is the one must course to take for sure. And that gets you started. It basically helps you set up your store, do everything necessary to implement the 5 strategies that we have used to create that wealth on Zazzle. And one of them is designing and creating. Yeah. So that's our second strategy anyway. And so we're helping you here today and giving you some insights as to, what you know, that now you know what our, design abilities are. And a lot of people who have taken, like the lady Cece, whose design we just did, she can use that design and sell it. And that's now her copyrighted design. And that's what we do with all of our students as well in our training that we give you. Okay, so who's next?
I just wanted to also say, because we cut in and out, and we do have a whole bunch of people that are on with us now that maybe not have been with us from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
You can see here on the banner at the bottom says coupon code equals promo 1000. That is the coupon code for $1,000 off to join in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, which is the links in the description of this video on Facebook.
And we start on the 19th of April.
Yeah. And so if you wanted to get in that deal and save $1,000, that will be available until midnight EST tonight, which is March 29th. And yeah, if you have any questions, then please let us know. Team Clark's also online with us and you can ask any questions. But if you're interested in enrolling in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, this is the major discount that we're giving you, which is $1,000 off.
Okay.
So then now this is Anne's here. And I like
we've seen this once before.
Well, we've seen her puppies.
With her puppies. That's cute.
I really like it. What I would say, though, is add an element of customization to it if you wanted to, like either put the names of the puppies or the name of the dog, like the dog mom. And one thing, I know that you like this heart and the paw print, but it seems almost a little bit too clip arty compared to your beautiful graphic designs of your dog. So I would say if you're able to create a different type of heart, just so it's not so like cutesy, maybe just like a black.
The outline of the paw print makes it cartoony.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a black outline, And the heart, I agree.
Yeah. And then also
And
if
the
you wanted
color.
it to be, the pink color, I would match it to more so like the
tongues.
noses or the tongues of the dogs rather than having it a peach or a coral color. That's completely different.
And that gray is also not anything close to what you've got in anything. Like I know the one snout has a bit of gray on it, but it's not the same. And so I know you want to do it on a black t-shirt, but just stick to white.
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Like
but
that.
You definitely, and the paw print brings in another element. So it has to be pretty darn close to what you've got. Otherwise, don't bother. Just do dog mom.
Yeah, I would say you don't even need to have the paw print here, and we can say dog mom. And I know that you've spaced out it because you have the dog, the paw print in there. So if the people actually wanted to change the text, then it would actually mess up the design. I would just say that. Or if you wanted to put the paw prints for any reason, you can have them one on either side. Or change it to be more like your graphic design and then have it in the middle like you had before.
I think the key here is that those pictures that you've drawn of the actual dog heads are the key piece, and it really dilutes it by having the paw print, unless that is your signature thing. Like if you want to put in a third piece where it's literally you as an artist doing a signature, then you could do that just underneath the dogs with a paw print if that's your signature. But then make it generic, so it's either white with or black, depending on what you're using, so that it can become a part of your signature brand without messing with the design, because that paw print just kind of took away from the three dogs.
Yeah, and
in a big way.
I've just made your image a little bit bigger too, because you're able to use that space more effectively. You know, they don't have to be that small, especially in the thumbnail version. Then you're able to see the dog faces more. So
okay, awesome.
Okay, cute though. I really like it. Okay, let's see. This is
Ian. Oh, nice to see you again, Ian. Let's have a look to see what you've got there. Super cool cat lady hip typography Persian cat throw pillow. Okay, let's see what actually I want to do the tags. I know this is designed, but yeah, I think you don't need Persian cat, but you can just besides that it looks, and maybe not super cool. Oh, it says super cool.
Yeah, I would say super cool cat lady. I don't think you need to have hip typography Persian. Which is a super cool cat lady throw pillar.
And then maybe like watercolor or something else that would bring people in through another medium. But okay, so let's look at this one. I like the design, but I think we need to work on the typography. First of all, you've got that really beautiful gray happening in the cat. And so I would definitely just use grayish colors for the text. And then the flower that's there just doesn't seem to... Yeah. I know the flowers, maybe the cat's looking at the flower, but it's just sort of floating. And I think you can just use your cat on the one side and the typography as the second piece.
Yeah, like something, I don't know, we can play around with the positioning, but I think I almost want to have the cat be much bigger and then
looking because really good like that.
Yeah.
And
because he's already kind of on a pillow, he's grounded, which is nice. He was kind of floating before, so since I've put him now towards, or the cat, a girl or a boy, put it now towards the bottom, then it actually looks like he's sitting, which is awesome. And then, as Elka mentioned, we'll make these more of like a charcoaly gray.
Yeah.
And then
maybe we can put like crazy cat lady or you don't even maybe need all the other stuff at the top. Just do super cool cat lady. And we do that on 3.
Well, I think people with like crazy. I don't know if you wanted to keep like this saying the crazy cat lady, but we can definitely have it just be.
And we just have to watch that we're not too close to the top.
Yeah. So I'll just move the cat down a little bit.
There, that's already looking really great.
Sort of right there.
And is that the background going to the edge? I think there's an issue with the background. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the right-hand side, there's a little bit of a...
Yeah, make sure it always fills the background so that it was really hard to see because it's creamy. But on the right-hand side, the background only went to like the red or blue line, didn't go all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that just, now the cat's actually looking at the part that you're trying to sell, right? You're trying to sell the wording of super cool cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to, you could still do super cool. Like right now, it's really set up nicely with the 3s. Because Crazy Cat Lady is one, more like second, and Super Cool Cat Lady is the third grouping. But we could also do Super Cool Cat Lady as a word all the way down on the back, so that that space is filled in a bit. But
like this, like each on its
Super
own.
Cool Cat Lady, or we do 4. Yeah, let's see how it goes. That's cool too.
In the middle, like that.
Cool and cool.
Oops. Yeah, either way, to fill in that space a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it really puts the emphasis on what your title is all about, which is that you're a cool cat lady.
Yep. I'm just going to log out of here. There we go. Okay.
So hopefully that helps. We got a lot of hearts with that one, so awesome. Who's this?
Beverly.
Beverly, hello.
Okay.
Okay, wow. Well, this one already looks amazing.
I
think it's a little bit busy with the text, so maybe we can play around with that one.
It might be just a slight bit too small in terms of the information here, but the whole concept is really pretty.
I'm not sure if it's boho though. Like, I mean, if this is one of the reasons that you're asking us for help, the design looks pretty solid. There's a couple of design issues that we could play with, but I think the boho it's not boho. It's botanical and it's floral, but it's not boho. And then some other pieces are like pretty obvious that we're going to help you with.
Mm-hmm.
Like the frame around the outside of that initial, like the inside part is not equal all the way around.
Unless you were meant to, like, unless it was meant to be like that. It was interesting because it was kind of like an optical illusion. I thought it was something that you wanted it to be like tiered, but it's very true. You had it off center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the background, I know it's just one background, so we may not be able to play with it too much, but you see how you have white on the left and on the...
I don't know where that came from, if that is something that I touched or if that's been there before. Yeah, did you have that in your original link? I'm just going to stop the screen share for a moment. I'm going to grab your link again because you might actually have...
there might be an issue because of the way you set your templates up.
Yeah.
That you might have used one template as a second template, and so something's happening.
Oh, anyway, I don't know what happened, but I can't get the link is gone on Facebook now. And it's bumped it all the way down for me. So unfortunately, but it's okay. Either way, we'll just share the screen again. And I think you might have had the and somewhere, or it was supposed to be in between the two names, but it's not there anymore. It bumped it over somehow. So this is supposed to be, or if it's, no, sorry, I thought it was a wedding invitation. I'm like completely lost. You probably just by accident kept that over from something. So just make sure that you don't have that and there. What I wanted to do was actually make this graphic bigger so that you're focused a little bit more on the flowers and it's not so busy. Even that makes it a lot more elegant and right.
Yeah. And it gives you that, when you have elements, you need to have 3s of various sizes. So by having the little bit of extra white on the right top side, it gives it more balance. Mm-hmm. And it actually helps to support the blue rectangle in the middle anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then this is all pretty good. It just might be a lot of stuff.
It's 8.7. It's still a little tight. So if possible, you could make it on the back or like, yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to have a little bit of like an information thing on the back, even just like this one here, if you grabbed the square, the rectangle and the RSVP and we put it on the back so that, and you had something like cute like this where, oh, sorry, not like that. I wanted to just do the rectangle here. Something like that where,
Yeah, well, we have to make it bigger so that
No,
they
yeah.
can see it. Yeah. But yeah, that's something elegant that kind of just gives the rest of the information.
Yeah. And then you could copy over an element of something from the front if you wanted to even grab some of like
And
the
I wonder
flowers.
too if one of the things that's an issue would be the fact that there's glitter on the back, and the front is just so much watercolor that the back doesn't need the glitter. It can
Yeah.
actually be the watercolor itself again. And then you can really see the beautiful watercolor. I'd actually much prefer that if I was a bride, or
Yeah.
what is this, a bride?
It's a bridal tea. Yeah.
Because
I
that
can-
just really showcases the design
Mhm.
of what the person's buying it for anyway, is the actual floral design.
Yeah. And then now we can actually even this out, and then you don't have to have it can either stay square or rectangle like this, or we make it even smaller like that. So then you can have more of the watercolor showing.
And if you want to, we could actually bring that element of the extra frame onto the inside if you wanted to, because it's very hard to see anyway, the extra little bits. So if you want to bring it into the inside, then that would actually help you with your design as well. Just as another option. Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually gorgeous now. Very stately and definitely not boho. We want to do like elegant floral, and you should have watercolor in your title.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's stunning.
Okay.
Okay, so who's next? And who liked that? Did everyone like that one?
I think so.
Give us some hearts.
Okay, so this is Pamela's. Okay. She says, love it. Thank you. I know Facebook is a little bit delayed, so we're just waiting for everybody to give our feedback while we're just kind of quietly sitting here. But I know if anybody wants to say anything, like go think of it in the future and then post it in real time. Okay, so this is Pamela's vintage butterfly garden monogram duvet cover. All right, I like it. However, I can already see some issues with unless that's the way it needs to be designed, but your background doesn't go all the way to the edges. So it's just kind of like a picture on top and your butterflies. Okay. So is that a thing where you would actually have a design underneath as well? That's sort of cute. I would leave it blank, or I would double it over.
But then if she's going to do that, and if people double over the duvet, you have to make this design upside down.
And then also make it match on top of what you've got on the front.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. And then you've also added, so you've created templates for all of the images on the front and on the back.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do that. You don't need to have a template. But what I'm thinking is,
at least make it the same color as the other background. Let's see if we can just
and
make
also
it a color.
raw pixel, I know is it's a type of like a copyright free website, but I don't, if you've purchased this or not, or if you've found it and it's a free thing, you have to really be careful with certain
simple licenses for commercial
certain images, because you can use them as template holders, but then maybe you can't use them for commercial use. But maybe you purchase this and you have the proper license for it. But usually when you
can't resell or redistribute pixel content. Okay.
Yeah. Even though sometimes like with Unsplash and things like that, it does say copyright free, but in terms of actually selling the image as is, it's sometimes not always okay. So just let me know if you've done your due diligence and research, just because if you're using this and you haven't actually thought about that, then I don't want you to get dinged for that. I wonder if this actually works here, if we can take the background out. So I've just taken the background out. It's a really quick fix on Zazzle. There's still like a little bit of the shading of the beige here in the background, but there you can actually now bump out your picture and it doesn't look so like square and boxy, then you can actually make it nicer and fit the whole duvet cover here.
Yeah, so it says you can't use our images for prints or merchandise for sale without adding considerable artistic value. So this is a no.
Yeah, at this point you haven't changed it enough.
She's put a few more butterflies on top, or no?
You've added a couple more butterflies on top, but it's still the original artwork. I think what they usually mean by that is basically you take the image and you graphically redesign it and change colors and change sizes and things.
Yeah, I'd be very weary about this one.
I'm not too sure if you're able to post this for sale, but I haven't looked in the chat yet. So let me know if you're here, and then you can let me know if no, not yet. I haven't read anything, but either way, if you are able to use this because you've changed it or you've graphically edited it, I would remove the white background, or sorry, the beige background. So then you can actually now see the design a little bit better.
What I would do is, because you're like, even if you were in this dilemma, the first thing I would do is like, there's no need to have that graphic in the back. You've isolated all the butterflies. Now you can just make your own pattern with the butterflies, and you're more than, that's definitely switching it. So if you have the license and then you're just using these elements and you create your own pattern, then that would be much better anyway than just having this big floral thing or like branchy thing on there. Just make a pattern of your butterflies.
Yep. I would do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry if we haven't gotten to you yet, please either repost your link or whatever, because we've got so many comments in the chat that the chat is actually bumping up and I can't scroll further up. So this is now Familia Fisher's, but besides that, I don't have anybody else's from before. So I do have others afterwards, but if you have yet to go, we'll try and get to as many as we can within the hour that we started. But if we haven't gotten to yours or we don't get to yours, it doesn't mean that you're not important. It's just that we have time constraints. But from each example, I'm sure you're learning from what we're saying too. So we don't always have to get to yours specifically for you to get value out of these free trainings.
Okay, this is Familia Fisher.
I really like it. The only thing is that the text is a little bit hard to read, like the font color.
Yeah.
So I would just change it to a dark gray. I know that you want to keep the gold because you have this gold foil, which is really pretty.
But the gold foil has something in the back of it. So we need to get rid of the,
Is it? It's a picture of what?
Yeah. There's something like
interesting.
It's got a shaded thing on it, I think.
Does it actually have? Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a gray.
So just make it white, like use the.
Yeah, I think I see what you've done now.
So, just take out the.
I did it, but it's not actually fully. You can see that there's a square around it, and if I understand that you're keeping the background like what you had, the marble background, but if you can isolate your baby shower text with the gold foil, I would have it just as is. I wouldn't have the background on it, because if somebody does want to now have it as a white background or even a black background and change the background, then it'll look very funny. You need to do some more editing for your Photoshop.
Definitely need to fix that in Photoshop first.
But even this color, see, we've changed the colors now, the background. This pops so much more in terms of the font where you can read it. But if you were to keep your original design, we will put it back here with your beige. I would say, where is this here? I would say make this like a dark gray, if you can.
Yeah, I think that's going to make it much better.
And then we can do in honor of, and then Melissa can be in the gold, and then the baby shower can also be in gold. Just so that now you can actually see what the thing is. It's a baby shower and who's being honored. The spacing is fun because we always tell everybody for like more modern look, but it's very spaced out for me. I think we want it to be a little bit less so it's not as in your face, just to tighten it up a little bit.
But thank you for listening to us, because you're one of the few people that actually paid attention and uses that spacing. I
think it's great. It should be at least 0.1, but 0.2 is just very big. Unless you wanted to keep it at we can try it. It doesn't.
I like it at
0.15. Yeah,
just because it gives that latent airiness to it.
And then make all of them 0.15. But I would definitely change this, whatever you've got. I know you probably copied it from your Photoshop file and just selected it, but you still have a background attached to it.
And I don't actually know why you've got the beigeish colors in the A and the O and the Y.
Because they've selected the layer. They tried to isolate the text, but the shading got caught through, so it wasn't on purpose.
No, I know, but like they should have had it at one point plain, right? But
what happened was maybe this has come with a different graphic, and they didn't actually make this text, and so you've tried to isolate it by selecting it in Photoshop, and it's actually copied because the layers were too similar of a color.
Yeah.
So you've still got some of that marble effect added to it. So
there's some good suggestions for you, and hopefully that really helps.
Yep. Okay. Now, let's see. We'll go back to StreamYard. How can we apply gold foil? Gold foil is a Photoshop effect, so you would have to either make it in Photoshop or purchase gold foil and then embed it into your text. So unfortunately, you can't make like gold foil on Zazzle. You have to create it in your Photoshop files. Okay. Let's see. Get some new people here. So this is Laura. Oh, but Laura, can you pop in? I've got in Laura Bjornsson. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right correctly. Can you put in a link to one of your products rather than just your store? Because I want to get to a specific product that you'd like us to look at. Okay. Cassie, here we go. Okay.
Cool.
Very cool.
Love it.
Let's see the back. Very neat.
I'm almost thinking that, the way you've got it on the back is actually nicer with the sage sole on the top of that design than on the bottom, because it just shows up more. But also when you're doing business cards, what you need to do is it just for the corporation or the company, and there's no like need for anyone to be part of it, or is it also like, is there someone running this, right? So is it do you put the sage sole at the top because that's the business, and then where the sage sole is now, do you add a name, the option for a name, right? Because that might be the really important, because maybe the lady owns the sage sole Reiki massage yoga, and so we need a name somewhere.
Yeah. So you were thinking,
just take the sage sole, like basically have the same design at the back and front of what is, and then there would just be the difference in the bottom text. One would be the address and everything and all the contact, and the other would be what's the business.
Yeah, and then you could even have like Reiki yoga massage, and then
up here above Reiki yoga massage, you'd put the name.
Yeah. So let's see, like Cassie Peters, right? Obviously, you don't want to use your own name if you don't want to, but just folio.
And
medium.
You can actually, and then use the same font as you did for all the other stuff in the bottom.
Oh, where are we here? There we go. Folio medium. And then you had it as 7-0 line. So letter spacing. Let's do this here. Here we go. You could have it all caps or not all caps.
It actually makes sense to do all caps. It makes it sort of showcase the whole idea.
Oops.
That's it. I would do that.
Would you change these guys to do all caps? No. Okay.
No.
Perfect.
I like it.
Like that.
How is everyone else feeling about this? It's so nice and simple and plain. And if you want to, because there's just a hint of the purple in the design element, you could switch the color of the purple to be more of that color of whatever's in the gold. or you can do gray, because this is very subject, like maybe people don't want purple. So, and it doesn't really match anything specifically right in the circles of, like there's some little dots that have some sort of purple, but you could also either go gold or pink and just pick up something within the design element that you've added.
Yeah.
And, or you do a complementary one like the gray, like what Jen just did.
Mm-hmm. So it's very light.
Yeah, just have to make sure to pick something. And so maybe the gold, actually. The gold would be nice and elegant, like a darker gold, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that actually looks really beautiful. So even though that's a lot of gold, it might actually just tie everything in together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see those little spots of color. I think there's a spacing issue, but besides that, like, or does it seem...
For what I just added?
Yeah,
Included?
Cassie Peters. I think it's just watch their spacing. Just make sure everything's equal
And centered.
compared to the actual circle. But we don't need to work on it any more than that. I think that's already, like, you can have about 3 or 4. Try them all. Try the purple. Try the gray. Try the gold, and see what happens.
Yeah, I like it. It's very cute. Okay. Let's do this one. Oop.
Whose is this?
This is let's see. Okay. Masilis. I'm hoping I'm saying your name properly. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Spring in Love. Let's see. Interesting. The design themes. Okay, so the colors change for the flowers. I would say you don't need to have your text here. I would make it so that if you wanted it to be Spring in Love is obviously part of your design, but I would say make the name of the person who's going to be buying this. So yeah. We want to put in like Natalie. So that they can customize it. And then I would say that this part can come up here and we can even make it like just slightly bigger. And then your spacing was really close. Oh,
good. You can move it. Okay.
Yeah, it was separate. So you had it really close to the heart like that. And then you've got your logo, which is awesome. But yeah, just even like that, that's much more...
nice.
Yeah, people can then visualize it, how they can customize their own design. And then I don't know if this will look good, but I thought maybe we could play around with what a filter would do just to make it even more like if you wanted to change it. Oh, did we? Hopefully we didn't lose connection. Are we still here? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Interesting. It's not letting me put the filter on, but you can add a filter on if we're still on live. But either way, I think what we've done now is it's fixed up and it's nice for customizing. And it looks, like you can actually visualize it. When it says your text here and you've put so much effort into actually creating a beautiful design, like with your graphic design, it almost like downgrades it a little bit. So I wouldn't do that. Okay. Let's see, Laura. Here we go. Now I've got her.
Thanks for posting.
Let's see. Okay, thank you. Team Clark confirmed that we're still live. I think it was just something funny with Zazzle that it didn't share or didn't save the product. Okay, so Laura. Awesome. Dusty Blue Botanical Wedding Invitation. Okay.
There's a lot of text all at once, and it's just everywhere. So the easiest way to do this is just to take everything that you've got and highlight all the pieces, and then use the minus sign to just make it smaller, first of all, because the proportions seem relatively good. We're going to play around with it a little bit, but we're going to push the text out in a little bit so that you've got some border around the outside. And what I see right off the bat is it's going to say, it says Saturday, June the 10th, 2020 XX, or sorry, 20XX. And what's going to happen is if someone has something other than a June, it's going to bring it down to the next line. And that's going to go over the 2 o'clock in the afternoon thing, which is unfortunate. So we need to really watch out for that. It's actually going to work.
Well, because we made it smaller.
We made it smaller, but normally it would have not been. And I noticed the bounding boxes are a little bit over the edge. So every single one of your bounding boxes here has to come only to the end of the rectangle.
Yeah.
Right? Not even maybe, because you don't want it to go right to the edge. So be careful when you're setting all this up with all these boxes in the inside.
Yeah. And I would say too, with you've got nuptial and you've got lots of different sizes of this type of font. I would choose one that's one that's not a script, and then I would make that sort of your like the font that is sort of
and even if you wanted to make it very, very formal, then that's okay, but keep certain things in only the way there has to be then a certain uniformity in all the smaller text, right? Like the invited to and the what are you going to do? Okay, you're going to do that.
Well, I don't know. She wants to.
So your joyfully invited all should be in the same size, and then you could do all of the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and even the Saturday, September 10th, doesn't have to be that big. In fact, if that's what you're going for, then that's not the right etiquette. It should all be the same size, and only the names are bigger because you're being so formal. So sometimes it's good to check the etiquette of wedding invitation wording to see what is okay and what's not. But, if you want to go and you want to play around with some word text, things like Jennifer's doing right now, where she's making wedding big, then you can do the September and the date big, but then just balance it out with all the other stuff not being also different sizes.
Yeah.
And just by making the sizes the same of all the smaller text, the less important text, it's going to easily unify it and make the other things stand out.
Yeah, and then you have all of these are individual lines. I would, because they are the same size and the same font, I would put them all together in one box, one text box, rather than them having each individual line, just for simplicity's sake. Because then if someone, for example, has more information in this line, it will bump over top of Cambridge, or maybe their church name is longer or shorter than what you've put in. And then so the design won't look cohesive if they've decided to put different information in terms of the actual sizing of the template.
Okay, and then I noticed too that you've got these flowers all individual that are going over top. This piece at the bottom is distracting. You can have this flower on the bottom as a cover if you want, and so that's already good. And then the thickness here is too thick for something that's elegant. And so we want to get it to be maybe one, if not, and it's also very light. And I would say pick the same thickness color as the font. Is that black? Or is it a charcoal? Might be charcoal. So now see how that now stands out, and then it brings it to the forefront rather than having the, so all of those changes already make a huge difference, and it allows, we didn't really do anything differently in terms of the text or whatnot. We've just given you a little bit more structure to the whole design. And I would call this very much a formal, and then it's also, it's not really botanical, it's floral watercolor. Yeah. And that's dusty blue. Oh, look at all that love. Keep sending that love. I love it.
Okay, so this is Angela's.
Are you getting a lot of value out of this?
Yes, I think so.
Post in the chat and say all the things you've just learned.
And if you are, if you have any questions about the Profit by Design Academy, Bootcamp, then let us know. And I'm just popping in the link again in the chat, and then you can use the coupon code promo1000. But this is what we like. We don't specifically do this exactly in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, but when we do our challenges and we get, we have like our Q&A parties, we definitely dive deep into not only design, but titles and tags and collections and categories. And yeah, it's really interactive in those Zoom calls. And then same with the Z Supercharger as well. Okay. So custom celebrate graduation party invitation.
Okay, well, you should definitely have gold foil in the title, because that's the whole point. If you don't do it here, when are you going to do it? When it's really truly the gold foil that comes out. And then it should be script and elegant and minimal and like a whole bunch of stuff in the actual, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
In the title, you should definitely use some more specific keywords.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
And I would it says celebrate, but I think you have to say celebrate the grad or celebrate, or you're invited or something, because it's just, I know it's saying celebrate, which is still a verb, but it's not talking about specifically what it is that you're doing. And then, if we do celebrate the graduate.
You can play around with the font sizes or the placement if you wanted it to be different. We can do celebrate the and then graduate on its own, actually, just because I like this size here. And then we do
either that, or if you're going to do celebrate only, if you don't want to have this graduate thing in there, then I would make the celebrate huge.
Yeah.
Get the most out of your gold foil,
because
that's the whole point, right? It's you want to see the gold foil.
So I'll just make it
I know you've picked this font, which is kind of a fun font, but it's very angular, and maybe you want to do something a little bit more like upright. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but like even the sugar plums, it's a little heavier, but that's the whole point, especially with the gold foil, you'll get more showing of the gold foil, right? And because you'll have more thickness to the letters, and so that could in itself be enough of a change.
Yeah.
And then the Jill Harrison, you would definitely want to make a Jillian Harrison. You want to make like it's copper plate. That's got a little bit of an outdated font. I think you should go with something, if you want to do folio, any of the folio ones, or do cormorant, because that's like the, and it doesn't make it capital. Go to the one below it. Yeah, there we go. So then it's more formal, because now we've got Cormorant SC, and if you want to do, you can do Cormorant SC bold, which is down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that, again, you get more gold foil out of the mix, because everything on the front is going to be gold foil, and if it's not thick enough, it's not going to be shown enough, and it definitely won't be shown as a thumbnail, and so no one will be able to see all the really glorious gold foil.
Yeah, and then always make sure your text bounding boxes, even if it is like a class of 20XX and you think that it's very small, always make sure that their text bounding boxes go to the edge.
Yeah, so let's have a look at that. So that already shows everything more in terms of what you had there. And then on the inside, it's just like the other invitation that we just did. You just want to play around with the text so that it's not so busy and it's not so heavy, and it continues on with the and then you have something on the back.
Yeah, I saw that. I think you've added your...
You tried to add your store, but it's not even the right store, because you have to put /store and then / and you've got Red Book.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's
weird, because that's not your store name.
It is, if you change the store name, but it is the link. It is the proper link.
Okay,
but
good.
Still.
All right.
If you want to do that, I would maybe say, instead of saying, zazzlestore.com /the store, put in your own brand name, or, but some people shy away from that. And then because it's sort of very small and tiny and on the back, people might not realize that it's there. And then you might get some returns just because people, for like if you're inviting somebody to a very formal, nice graduation party, maybe sometimes people don't want to have that on the back. But what did I want to say here?
The inside,
yeah. Goodness, where am I here? There we go. Okay, so inside, front. So what we can do, and you're very, very close to the green line here, and actually everything's not centered properly. You're way off in terms of the side, in terms of like being in the middle. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but you want to make sure that you, first of all, are in the middle, because that was also not something that people are going to really notice until they order it, and then they realize that everything's off onto the side here.
Yeah.
And then once you have the spacing out, which, because I think that this is actually quite nice, you can make now this the same font that we used on the front of the card if you wanted to, and then it'll probably also make it a little bit bigger so people can read that. But now just select everything and then use your scale buttons, and then just, if you're on a Mac, you can press the command button on your keyboard and it'll actually make the increment smaller in terms of how much it minimizes it or makes it bigger. And then here as well, are you centered? I think you're centered for this one, which is awesome. Then I would just change the font to be the same one as before on the front. And then there, it actually pops a lot more and people can see that in the thumbnail version. And because of the way that this particular card is designed, I would put this one closer to the green line, because you can see now in the preview, you had a lot of white space here. So I would then make this bigger so that you can use your space more efficiently. And then it just has a little bit of a bigger like impact in terms of the thumbnail here. And I think maybe the reason why you possibly designed things on the side was so that in the thumbnail it was able to be seen. I'm not too sure, but just make sure you are always in the middle and centered rather than off to the side. But that has more of like an impact in terms of visually seeing things. And then also you're using more space for the gold foil, which is why people are buying this product anyway. Okay. Awesome. So then Jenny, we'll do, when did we come on actually? We can do maybe 2 or 3 more.
We have about 10 more minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just. Okay. Love you, Mom. Photo block. Interesting. You've got some interesting shapes here for them to put the photos in. I don't know if you've done this now with the mask, which we can see. I'm going to go in and see how you've done your photo templates, but I would advise, I know that this design is cool and you were trying to be inventive most likely, but not everybody is going to have a photo that's going to fit right in this triangle shape, or have photos that look good cut off on the angles like you've done. So I would say you're actually more, it's better to just make 3 panels that are like portrait sizes rather than.
Love You Mom is already really fun.
Yeah.
That is unique and different.
Yeah.
But let's see what the photos look like.
And then I would also add an element of personalization. So I love you, Mom. And then you could say, I don't know, Jennifer, or not Jennifer, but like, Natalie or something underneath. So it's the name of the girl who's giving the gift to the mom, right? So yeah, you have.
It's also, if there's a possibility, can you make the Love You Mom without the pink background? Because that way you have more options to add the different, like a square behind it. And therefore people might pick the color, like their own color.
Yeah. Upload the script just as is, not with the background. And I don't know, because I'm not the designer, I can't see, but I'm assuming you've created a shape and then created the mask tool so that the shape is inside, the photo's inside the shape.
I don't know. No, I think she's uploaded it as a triangle. So that's not that. Yeah, no, there's no way that people would be able to do that, because they'd have to create their own triangle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we don't advise this at all.
I would just get rid of this triangle shape. And then if you wanted to do this, this is actually makes much more sense for people who would have photos, like in terms of being able to change the photos.
Yeah.
And then also half of your photo is underneath and hidden by the border here. So if you can make your photo.
Rather use the crop tool.
Yeah.
And crop it to the way you want it. And then that way people, when they put in their own photo, some of it won't get cut off because it's going underneath. Like what you're doing right now is adjusting it to look good based on what your photo has as an option. But just by using the crop tool, you can actually get the image the way you want it in the size that you want. And see how Jen's like this picture still has a lot underneath so crop that as well, because otherwise people's pictures are going to get cut off underneath your Love You Mom option.
And I know this sounds really weird. So you have a photo. I don't know why there's a white border on them if you scan them or something, but I would take that out because it first of all looks funny in terms of the design, and if that actually shows up on the plaque, then people might not know exactly what it is. And because the flowers are here in the middle, I would just I would switch the photos from one to the other, because now the flowers are on the side and it looks a little bit more
and I would put
visual.
a line down the middle anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you had the old design, I would put some lines down each of the design between the separate the photos.
And then you can make the thickness a little bit smaller. There. Even that looks a lot better in terms of what's happening. And then I would actually make your preview. Yeah, that's a fine preview. But be careful about your photos. Your photo boxes. And then, I understand if you were trying to make a really cool shape with the triangle, what you could do for this is going a little bit above and beyond, but if you wanted to do a mask, what you can do is you create a circle or a triangle shape, and then in your layers, you have it underneath your photo, and then you select both of them, and there's an option here called masking, and then you can see now the photo is actually inside the circle and where the position was of the circle. You have to make sure that the circle is obviously in the area that you want the photo to be. So not all photos work with this. We kind of advise from doing it unless you have a photo that looks proper. But you select both of them and you click the mask tool, and then now you can see that you have the photo inside the circle. And I thought that's what you actually did with the triangle. But if you're not super advanced and know how to do it properly, because you have to make sure you're creating your templates properly before, then don't do it right away, because you can really mess it up and people won't be able to personalize it properly. And then underneath here, I would say Love You Mom, and then I would put a name for the kid.
Yeah, which is also why you should have the Love You Mom as a separate script, so that you can play around with the spacing and the block, and you would just create another shape to create that board, like the solid color background. And then you'll have the three elements, and it's a lot easier to work with.
Yeah.
Everyone's going yes and happy, and give us some more love.
Awesome. Okay. We've got Dina Lynn. This is fun. Yeah, if you want, we can do that one too. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I think it's very sweet. I like the design a lot. I'm
wondering why you've got the gray in for turning one. I think you should just leave it all the same color. And also, is it maybe because she's decided to... I would make the text at the bottom the same blue too.
And then also you have let's just try and see, this is sort of double, but because you have the number 1 there, we can just say Alexander's turning and make it a little bit bigger like that. And then also you do have a long name, but if you want to make sure that if somebody had a longer name, then it wouldn't go over your
and the bounding box.
The bounding box. So like, yeah, we would
the bounding box needs to go back to the number 1.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna hide this for a moment. So it needs to be basically like that if you're going to have this design be there. So just be wary of the fact that if they have a longer name or they want to have like their first and middle name, for example, then it's going to bump it down over top of the design. But as I said, you've got a pretty long name, so you should be okay, but it might be a thing. Then
I kind of needed the 1 there as a separate, like as another like reminder that he's turning 1.
Okay.
But you can still have everything in that space. It was fine. Yeah, even with your bigger turning. It's good.
Okay.
I would make, since everything else is very thin in terms of the lines, when it's like the O what and to be, I would say the frame has to be thinner. And then I would make all your text at the bottom probably a little bit heavy. And maybe you should say, like, please help celebrate Alexander's first birthday. And just like what we did with the other card, maybe you have to make it like take some of that text and put it on the back.
Because you do have a shape here. I don't know why you have so many different weird layers. I would just have the rectangle be full and then have the rectangle underneath it. So then you don't have to worry about because you had it transparent. So if somebody moves the photo or something happens, then the photo's transparent. And I think that you've actually put in the option or that the what's it called, the requirement that they change the photo. And we don't always recommend that you do that, because now if a customer comes to your design, it'll say that there's an issue with this design, even though there's really no issue. It's just that you have to change the photo. But a lot of people won't see that or like click see details. They'll just see that there's something wrong with it, and then they will shy away from buying it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just a couple of tweaks. And also, if you wanted to, you can just make all of that text go to the back and then not have a pattern in the back, because it's just a lot of text at the bottom and you're taking away from all that wonderful design at the front. So yeah, so we could, and then you don't even need the dots, really.
Put it in the middle here.
Mm-hmm. And then we can make it bigger because it is quite small.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, and then we could maybe just say something like join us for the celebration or something at the bottom, right? Just because it's just so clever with everything. There's already so much.
How does that look?
Yeah, and I wonder, is the one, yeah, I was wondering about the fun sort of loose design of the polka dots. That's kind of cool. If you wanted to put those still in the background somehow, you could. And now that we've moved this, you could also center Alexander and move everything over. So this is, now he's turning, and then we could have the one, yeah, I'm trying to get the picture in a different way so that I don't know, this is all grouped, right? Yeah.
No, or
yeah,
the one is grouped. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we do this, it makes it a little looser, but it also gives a little bit more fluidity to everything. Like now it's a little bit pieced, but now you really can recognize the one. And then we could do this, join us. Just so that it's kind of, and then centered. So you're really playing with a lot of the typography. And you're just kind of playing around with like it being loose and all over the place. And maybe even this one has to be not so rigid, because that way it's just having, like, you're having a lot of fun seeing that one, because the one was really kind of stuck. There's still some work to be done, but I think the one is just so important.
And you could actually make it bigger too now.
That, yeah, that it needs to be showcased more. Because it's the thing that's the main part of the design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that, just because, and then maybe a little bit more behind the frame with the picture. Maybe you have a fun time with that, just so that there's a bit of that pattern that's in the one behind the photo. That could be another cool option.
But the original design was really sweet too. Yeah.
I know, we've really changed it around.
But taking the text from the front, like the details, and putting it on the back definitely allows you more space to play around and add some more design elements to it. Okay.
I think we're done the hour, but we'll do one more.
If there's one more, I think, let me see. I think we have to go back to one up at the top here.
It was either, yeah.
Okay.
Sawarska. Is that correct? Yeah.
No, Saraswati.
Saraswati.
Hopefully we're saying that properly. Okay.
All right. Romantic save the date postcard. All right. All right. So the first thing that we want to tell everyone about postcards is that in the U.S., the Postal Service takes postcards and like stamps them through a machine by running them right way up through a machine that stamps the bottom. So this created by Misty Rose Photography and is going to get printed over. And so already has their logo a little bit higher up. So whatever is down below that logo, you shouldn't have any text down there because it'll just get printed on. And also, I think the key here is that not everyone's going to want to have that much advertising for your photography company if it's their save the date. So I would take off the Zazzle logo and your thing. That's it. Like, I would just recommend that. You'll sell more. And your photography is very beautiful, but it's not unique. This is something you could get in a clip art thing, and I know that might be upsetting to you, but you have to remember that this is not going to sell your photography. It's just going to, if you want to, people are going to be happy that they're using your photo, and if you wanted to, you could put it slow, like very, very small, in the, and I don't know, do you have the Zazzle marketing on there? Because now it's showing
that
the
just
Zazzle.
Happened, yeah.
So again, I would not put that on there because people aren't going to steal your photograph, okay? And instead, the brides are going to get worried that they're going to get Zazzle printed on their item. And then secondly, if you want to put your photograph credit then do it on the front, and then just tiny in the corner, and say, something tiny and thin, not as thick and big as yours that you had in the back, so that people know that this is your photography. Now, the next thing we want to do is fix the save the date, right? Because that's it's just 2 lines, and it needs to be more prominent for the people that are getting married. And then the save the date is usually all one size and big, but the 4 is not. And that's just standard, and you have to do that. Otherwise, people won't even look at your card. And because the save the date is a really important part. The names are important, and maybe the date, but you've got a lot going on in the front here. So maybe we don't do that.
I don't know if you've added a gradient onto your photo, but it's just a little bit, it's I don't know, in terms of it being washed out, it's a little bit distracting. So I tried to like position it differently or something like that if we wanted to make the letters stand out more, because right now there's just a lot of stuff going on and you can't really focus on the names and the save the date, which is obviously what the whole point of this card is for, right? And then also
we could put it at the top, but that's about it. Yeah.
Like even this is a little bit better where you can read the text. You're also then catering to people who want like if you say save the date and you have this photo of the brown napkin and the pine cones, I'm not too sure if you have any other photography as well, but then you're just catering to people who want to buy a picture of this for their wedding, and it might match their theme or not. But yeah, even if you did this, it's just, you can read everything now better. And usually save the dates too. If you have that, save the date on the front or the back. They usually have the date of when the actual wedding is going to happen. So even that looks a bit nicer. And then here on the back, you have such a dainty font in the front. And then on the back, it's very dark and bold. It might be the same. I don't know if it's the same version, but no, it's a completely different oleo script. So I would say that, and then you also have your text bounding boxes. This needs to go here, because if not, then if they write in more information, because you haven't put in, like, for example, date and time and location and date, etc., and they need to have more space, because they will most likely add more information than your 2 sentences that you have here. And then I would make it a smaller, whichever one you did, or if you wanted to have it be a little bit more formal like this. And then, remove this or hide it, and you've actually locked that. So that means that no one can delete that if they want to or not. Yeah,
and that's a clear way. Like, if people want that off, they're not going to buy your card.
Yeah.
And when you get to Zazzle, if there's a picture that you don't want on the internet, then don't use it. And if you want, like, because this is the thing. This is no disrespect, but this is just a picture of a pinecone gold ribbon thingy. That's it. Like, it's not a recognizable, what's a good photographer's name? But anyway, it's just a really good photograph of a napkin with a decoration. So we lose sales by having too much of an artist ego. So it's really important that you just go like, okay, this is my photograph. At least it's selling like this.
Yeah, and in the description as well, you can say, what you might have done already. No, you haven't.
No, so and that's the other thing. You should definitely say that. You say photography by, and this is where you get the clout, and then people will go, like, if they like that piece of photography, then they'll be happy.
Yeah.
And if not, then it's just like pine cones with gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how we need to make a shift in our mindset in order for you to be able to sell on Zazzle, because you've made it very, very restrictive to the people who want to buy your photographs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we've done all of the links, and if we haven't got to yours, then
join us on one of these ones the next time we do one.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the link in one more time here into the chat box on Facebook.
Yeah, you can save $1,000 between now and midnight tonight. If you are planning on enrolling in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp, then do so. If you've already been in the Profit by Design Academy and want to be part of the next bootcamp, message us, because we have a really good special for you, but it's a separate link. It's not this one. This is for people who are brand new and want to join our community by taking our signature course and being part of the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp in April. It starts April 19th.
Mm-hmm. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you in the bootcamp.
Don't forget to use the promo 1000 as your coupon code.
Promo 1000 in the actual, well, I can show you here. We'll share the screen really quickly. So on the link that I posted in the chat, and it's also in the description of this video on Facebook, Here you'll come to a checkout point here, which gives you information. You have to put in your information and your card.
And it's regularly $3,497.
Yep.
And when you put in the coupon code, then it switches it to
one at the bottom when you scroll down,
Yeah.
it'll say $1,000 off here. Just make
but this is
bigger.
only going to be available until midnight tonight, so make sure you take advantage of that.
Yeah. So then you can put in promo 1,000 and you get that. I'll show you again really quickly because I had it zoomed out. So you say apply coupon, and then that should change here, and you should see that as your total. Okay, perfect. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will see you in the boot camp. Bye.